Listen, June. It's time to start being honest about what we are in this world. Is there anything left to fight for? Look around you. City of dreams. Nah. This is the city of nightmares. All of those people down there, they're walking corpses. Bogged out with no sense of self. No ethics, no morality, no drive. The NUSA just sits back and watches. They've abandoned us while these fucking corpos suck the life out of everything they touch. They get what they wanted. The gap between us and them grows larger every day, while the regular people eat each other alive. Yet, here we are, still waiting for things to change. Here's the truth. Nothing will change until we decide as a people that we're done being controlled.
Wakey, gentlemen.
What's happening? Security!
Too far away to hear us. Well, let's not do anything rash here. We just tune and sew. We don't scroll. Honest to God. We can figure this out. Just tell us what you want, and we'll make it happen.
Got a little family affair going here, huh?
People want to buy, so we sell. Business is business.
Looking for something in
You
particular?
know, if it wasn't us, there'd be someone else.
You want to see something really hard?
Freddy! We just supply what Night City demands. That's all.
XBD of a preacher's little boy. Murdered. Ring any bells?
Which preacher?
I just got a fresh batch with boys. No clue who their daddies are. Gonna need more.
Bryce Stone, circuit writer on News 54. Son was Bobby Stone, 12 years old when he died.
Are we talking black, white, Chicano? Any identifying marks? Style of execution?
Papa? I think I know what she wants. BD 9430.
Preacher's boy, who murdered him? Who gave you the XBD?
Nobody gives us anything. They leave dead drops. We just go pick them up. Keeps things secure for everyone involved.
Speedy was raw when you got it. Must have noticed something in the background, some kind of clue. Reflection in the mirror, tattoo, anything.
Our only concern is with imperfections, not who makes them.
Had enough of you two. I'll find it myself.
Okay.
Shut up! You speak, you die.
That's it. That's the one. Just take it. Freddy, no!
When cyberpunk was created in the 1980s, it painted a dystopian future as a cautionary tale. Night City streets were meant to horrify, not inspire, yet here we stand today, living within the shadow of that very nightmare. The warning went unheeded. What follows is not fiction, but recognition, a mirror held up to our collapsing world. Corporations like Arasaka possess private armies and treat human lives as expendable resources. The state exists only to serve their interests, and democracy becomes theater for the masses. These towering entities don't just dominate economies because they own them and everything within them, including the people. Today, tech giants wield more influence than elected officials. E-commerce conglomerates dictate working conditions that nearly kill employees. Social media platforms manipulate elections worldwide. Investment firms own controlling stakes in virtually every major corporation, creating a shadow oligarchy. Our governments dance to corporate music while citizens suffer. This consolidation of power creates the perfect conditions for the next horror. When corporations own everything, human bodies become just another commodity. Organ farms harvest biological materials while the poor sell their bodies piece by piece just to survive. Children disappear into trafficking networks that supply both labor and spare parts to those wealthy enough to afford immortality through replacement surgery. Modern slavery affects more people today than at any point in human history. Organ trafficking networks operate with industrial efficiency. Sex trafficking thrives in developed nations while authorities just look away. Child labor produces consumer goods while corporations claim ignorance. The human body becomes a renewable resource for those with money. This commodification requires perfect surveillance to track inventory. Every action gets recorded and analyzed by systems that know their subjects better than they know themselves. Privacy becomes a memory as neural implants provide direct access to human thoughts. Resistance requires complete disconnection from all networked systems. An impossibility when survival depends on digital participation. Surveillance capitalism harvests every click, purchase, and movement for corporate profit. Government agencies purchase private data rather than obtaining warrants. Facial recognition systems track citizens without consent. Smart devices spy on their owners. The panopticon exists not as an architecture, but as a lifestyle. This total observation enables a perfect pathway to exploitation. Humans transform from citizens into raw materials for corporate profit. Bodies get harvested for organs and neural tissues, while consciousness itself becomes tradable intellectual property. The distinction between person and product disappears entirely as human experience gets packaged and sold back to its original owners. Modern corporations treat workers as disposable resources while extracting maximum value through surveillance and optimization and, quite frankly, bullying. Pharmaceutical companies test drugs on poor populations. Social media platforms treat users as lab rats in psychological experiments. Success requires treating humans as both product and consumer simultaneously, and this naturally creates extreme stratification. Corporate elite live in towers that scrape the sky while the masses huddle in squalor below. Social mobility exists only as corporate propaganda designed to keep the desperate grinding away at impossible odds. The poor scavenge cyber implants from corpses while executives purchase immortality through consciousness transfer. Income inequality now exceeds levels seen during the Gilded Age. Billionaires vacation in space while children starve. The middle class evaporates as automation eliminates jobs, while AI eliminates jobs. Homelessness explodes in cities where tech workers pay $7,000 for studio apartments. The American dream becomes a cruel joke told by those who murdered it. To maintain this system requires the complete elimination of empathy. Power brokers achieve their positions by abandoning human connection entirely. Empathy becomes weakness that competitors exploit. Compassion represents an efficiency that shareholders punish. Success requires the systemic elimination of human feeling until nothing remains but calculation and consumption. Corporate executives optimize human suffering for shareholder returns. Politicians view constituents as vote sources rather than people. Healthcare administrators deny coverage to maximize profits. Success in modern society requires the systemic suppression of human decency, and this creates populations numb to their own destruction. Residents become numb to constant violence and death through deliberate overexposure. Murder becomes entertainment. Suffering transforms into content. The capacity for empathy atrophies through carefully engineered brutality that makes resistance seem futile and compliance seem reasonable. Mass media saturates audiences with violence, while real atrocities receive indifference. School shootings become routine news items. War becomes background noise. Homeless encampments become invisible. The human capacity for compassion withers through deliberate overstimulation designed to create compliant consumers of their own suffering. And the most damning parallel between cyberpunk's dystopia and our current reality lies in the impunity of the elite. In Night City, corporate executives commit atrocities without consequence, protected by layers of wealth, layers of influence, and layers of institutional capture. Our World reveals the very same pattern through scandals that expose networks of power protecting themselves from accountability. High-profile cases involving trafficking, abuse, and corruption demonstrate how wealth and influence create an impenetrable shield around the guilty. Investigations halt mysteriously, evidence disappears, witnesses meet untimely ends. The elites who profit from human suffering have constructed a system where their crimes become state secrets, their victims become statistics, and their accountability becomes impossible. They retreat to private islands and gated communities, insulated from the consequences of their actions by the same wealth extracted from their victims. This isn't just cyberpunk. This is the world that we live in right now. By the end of Cyberpunk 2077, Johnny Silverhand's rage becomes impossible to dismiss as mere terrorism. His hatred for the corporate machine that devours humanity reveals itself as the only sane response to an already insane world. When corporations literally steal souls and sell them back as products, when human consciousness becomes intellectual property, when every aspect of existence gets commodified and monetized, what other response remains but complete and total rejection? Now let's take a step back here. A nuke with a ton of collateral damage wasn't the answer. But Silverhand understood what many refused to accept. The system cannot be reformed because it was designed to be unreformable. Corporate power structures don't accidentally create suffering. They require it to function. Every attempt at working within the system only legitimizes the machine that grinds up human lives for profit. So his solution, burn it all down, becomes less extremist and more inevitable as the game progresses. When the alternative is a slow death by 1,000 corporate cuts, when compromise means complicity in your own dehumanization, when playing by their rules guarantees your destruction, revolution stops being radical and becomes survival. And the most disturbing aspect of Cyberpunk 2077 isn't its depiction of corporate dystopia, it's how reasonable Johnny Silverhand sounds by the end of all of it. If you finished the game and didn't find yourself nodding along with his anti-corporate manifesto, you either weren't paying attention or you've already been successfully programmed by the very same system he sought to destroy. The future is here. It wears a suit, it wears a tie, and it speaks in corpo buzzwords, and sleeps soundly, knowing that justice cannot reach its penthouse door. Pondsmith's nightmare has become our waking reality, and the architects of our suffering remain untouchable, protected by the very system they built to exploit us all. It's up to you whether you want to accept this future or not.